guys, we are in. It is time for a very special WWE Saturday night's main event and NXT Great American Bash predictions panel episode here on BCP Plus. Of course, powered by our friends over at Twisted Shamrock Studios and Spa. Shameless promo. Guys, we are ready to go. A big time wrestling weekend. We have lots going on BCP Plus this week. We're going to start here with NXT Great American Bash. But first, we'll start with WWE Saturday night's main event, perhaps Goldberg's last match. But before we get into it, let's introduce our stellar panel. Now returning back to the BCP and fully reclaiming the title as Mr. Perfect once again after a previous perfect prediction show not too long ago here on BCP Plus. Is our honor to have him from the Sweet Chin Musings podcast and the popbreak.com. I'm so happy to say Mr. Perfect, Mr. Mike Mueller. Mike, stellar job, my friend. Hats off to you, sir.
Feels good, feels right. And happy to be able to reclaim that crown, not just as a moniker, but as a fact. I am in the last one podcast, I am officially perfect. So that's all I'm saying.
You're back on track,
That's
man.
right.
And that's why you're here, man. Stellar job. It's good to have you. And guys, please welcome back to the show. You know him from the popbreak.com, a cooker of delicious meats and brisket, a BCP OG, our good friend, the dad god, demigod, Mr. Matt Wittes. What's up, Matt? How you doing,
yo,
man?
Let's go. That's right. Dad bod, demigod. Yeah. Let's get urgent and neurodivergent. Ready to go.
There's the t-shirt.
That's the next shirt.
Oh, I love it. And guess what, guys? You know who loves the anti-spark? Mike, do you know who loves Matt, the anti-spark?
Who loves?
None other. We're going to play the clip, Mr. I queued this up just for you, Matt. Mr.
This is
Joe
from
Henry.
our senior editor, the anti-smark. He wanted to ask you this. I guess this is more of a back home question. And please correct me if I'm wrong on this.
He's called the what?
The anti-smark.
What does that mean?
It's too clever for me even.
So that would be the smart wrestling fan, and he is the anti of that.
Yeah, a bit of sarcasm, I believe. That's fair.
Okay, so he is a dumb wrestling fan.
Yeah, fair enough, kind of.
Okay.
And he's also, but he's a fantastic writer, so we keep him around. But
Okay.
I'll ask you this. He says, you have.
Don't tell him I said that because he's going to write this up now.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. He had said, and I quote here, he said, you have a late night, a long day, no calorie counting right now. You're heading to the pie or the chip shop. What is the pie filling and topping?
Okay, so sense? I'm actually I'm gonna retract my previous jabs there, because if we got onto food, anytime we get onto food, I gotta give them some credit here. So you have like that. That's how it works in America. Pies are different back home.
Yes,
pies are like actual like pastries that you put things in. So right now, I'm gonna go for the steak pie with gravy on top. There you go, with a little bit of haggis in there as well.
Oh wow!
So what is the anti-smark's real name?
It is our good friend Mr. Matt Wittes. Yes.
All right. So you know what, Matt, we're gonna have to put you over there. We'll allow him to keep his title for now.
Very good, and he makes the best brisket I know, so he knows what he's talking about. I have not.
I really can't upset this guy then. That's because brisket. It's been a while since I've had that.
Matt, what is better than that, man?
I don't know. Maybe I gotta change it. Maybe I gotta change it from anti-smart to extra casual. Maybe that's instead of a filthy casual, I'm the extra casual.
No, it couldn't have gone better. And I'll put it this way, guys, and just to completely throw you guys off your game, I'll just play that 90-second clip. But realistically, I just shared out the stream, so there you go, a little behind the curtain there. But I love that, Matt, and I'll shout out Matt here, BCP OG. But Matt always presents such great in-depth questions for me that are like deep cuts, and I feel like the talent appreciate it. But there's such deep cuts that I'm like, Matt, are you sure? Like, because I'm always the one with like, I don't know what that means, or like, I'm always the one that gets caught in that situation. And Matt delivers every time. But you popped Joe Henry, man. And Matt, have you ever had haggis?
I have had haggis. Part of that is that in my travels, I've been fortunate enough to travel internationally to England, Ireland, Australia, and New Zealand, and I've got personally, I think that Anglo-British cuisine is often like laughed at, highly underrated, very diverse. You go to pie shop. Oh, gave me steak and kidney or steak and eel, which you don't think goes together, but it does. But it might be full of chicken tikka masala, which was invented by the British. Believe it or not, they traveled most of the world and conquered it for spices, and then people think they
Didn't
don't
use
use
it.
it, but they do. Yeah,
Wow.
Dropping
You
a
learn
little
something new
knowledge
every
on
day.
us. Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah.
I love that.
That's great, Matt. But
A
I love
culinary
that Joe
conundrum
Henry
for
was
you.
going on about, and he's I love it. It's great. Guys, let's get into it. Let's start with our first match. Guys in the chat, you know how this goes. We want you on the panel. We want to hear your thoughts. If you have questions for the panel, let us know. Share the stream. Let's have some fun, guys, as we get into our first match. Saturday night's main event. Let's talk about it in the words of Trick Williams. Saturday night's main event, we have the Viper, Randy Orton, taking on the returning Drew McIntyre. Mike, I'll throw it to you first since you are the perfect one here on the panel. I don't want to say this feels kind of thrown together, but it definitely was great to see the return of Drew McIntyre. And you had that conversation between Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, and then you kind of had Drew being the wedge here. Is this just kind of a time killer match? Is this going to be something that builds to SummerSlam? What do you got on this one, Mike?
Well, you may not want to say it was just thrown together, but I'll say it. This was just thrown together. I do think that I think that the story is really going to be about Drew and Cody moving forward, and Randy is just sort of that vehicle that gets us from point A to point B. The most interesting thing about this to me is when you look at Drew McIntyre's character, yeah, he's a heel, yeah, he's dastardly, yeah, we love to boo him. But for the most part, what Drew says is right. Drew is very rarely wrong. The man speaks truths. And what's very interesting here, I hope Kevin is watching because he is about to be so happy with me. Um, if what Drew is saying is still true, as it most of the time is, then Cody is just using Randy Orton and he's not really his friend and he's not a good guy. And maybe we are getting a heel turn sooner rather than later with Cody. But that's down the line. I think right now, this is really kind of just used as a way to get Drew McIntyre a little bit of momentum. Randy Orton doesn't lose any kind of credit or momentum by taking a loss here. Drew's taken a lot of losses in the recent past. I think this is a way to reintroduce him as a serious threat. I think he is going to be the first challenger for Cody's title when he wins it back from John Cena at SummerSlam. So we need to build him up. We need to make him as imposing of a presence as he can be. And not only is he playing the mind games, he's also winning the physical games as well. I think Drew McIntyre's got to win this because I think this is not so much about what's happening right now with his character, but as what's going to be happening with his character in the next few months to come. And so Randy Orton is just kind of the perfect bridge for that. I think you could have taken Randy Orton out and put Jey Uso in the same spot because ultimately I think it's really about Drew and Cody in the not so distant future.
Wow, really good. Coming out strong, Mike, man. You
That's
got the
all I know
wheels
how to
turning
do,
up in my
baby.
brain.
All gas, no
all he does
brakes.
is win.
That's
Okay. I'm all gas with very calculated stops along the way.
I
And,
thought I
and
smelled
very
that.
measured out components. Nice. But I like what you said about Jey Uso. That would have been a good match. Jey and Drew. That would have been actually perfect. That's a great spot. I'm interested to see where Jey goes from here, but I digress. Matt, what do you have on this one, bro?
It's funny you mentioned thrown together. I was barely aware that this was going on, and my first question was, oh, "Who's going to win? Which one's healthiest right now?" Was my first question. Uh,
It's a fair question.
yeah. Drew's coming back for a reason. You if you don't go away, you can't come back, and when you come back, they're going to do something with you. So I see this being Drew's match. Now, everything else that goes along with it, how does he win? How does this play into the Cody field and possible the eventual, jump off point for that? Um, yeah, and Mike said it great for the past year or so, year and a half now, at least. Drew McIntyre, he's been Magneto, he's been Killmonger, he's been John Walker, where he's got perfectly valid points for everything. He's just not presenting himself too well, and therefore we get to boo him, and we get to cheer for whoever else. We're just cheering for Bill Bodkin's favorite wrestler of all time. The man who spent the last 20 years convincing us all that he's a heartless psychopath in Randy Orton. And Randy doesn't need a thing right now, but Drew, if he's going to be part of this picture in the next upcoming months, he needs to do something now that he's back.
Yeah. All right. Then, I mean, that seals it. I'm going to go Drew as well. Randy, like we always say, L's not going to hurt him here. He did lose in the King of the Ring. I'm thinking, maybe you don't want to make him look too weak, but like the guy's just smiling, high-fiving the kiddos. He's living his best life. He can do whatever he wants. And like we have been saying for months and months and months and months and months here on BCB Plus, the guy can turn like a light switch. It'll make perfect sense no matter what.
Out of nowhere.
Friendly RKO like Joe Henry. Yeah, out of nowhere, right? It could be a friendly RKO like on Joe Henry, or it could just be a heel turn RKO. It doesn't matter. And now we have Mike talking about possibly Cody doing something. Maybe we'll see some turns. Cody put out a tweet. Yeah. Cody put out an interesting tweet the other day. I don't want to get into that too much, but I'll let you guys look into that, read into that as you will. At the same time, if you are going to do something, why would you foreshadow it so much like that? So we'll
could be a red herring.
Let's
hold on though before we move on.
Yes, I think
because
so.
I will
please,
say
please.
Matt said, how does he lose? I do want to point out, I think that the trajectory that Randy Orton is going on, I do. Not to say everyone's just going to turn heel, but I do think Randy Orton is going to be closer to a heel turn than we think, because I think about back to Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. And Kevin Owens couldn't do the underhanded thing that would have gotten him the victory over Cody Rhodes. In that instance, it was the chair shot. Randy Orton, in his match against Cody Rhodes, couldn't bring himself to use the punt. He wanted to, but he couldn't do it. And ultimately, that hesitation cost him too. What happened very shortly after the Kevin Owens-Cody Rhodes match? Kevin Owens snapped, turn heel. What's going to happen very shortly after Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes and couldn't do the same thing? I think we're going to get another snap. I think the Drew thing is going to the loss to Drew is going to really make him realize that he can't, like, what he's doing isn't working, and maybe Drew gets in his head, and I think he ends up taking it out on Cody. Again, it's before or after SummerSlam, I don't know, but I really think that it's going to be another type of situation where Randy has the opportunity to punt Drew McIntyre. He doesn't do it, and it ultimately costs him. And then that's where we get the snap and the turn.
You're right. You're so right. I'm going to give this to you now. Here's your your GOAT trophy right there.
The old Diesel Bret Hart.
Wow.
Yes.
The moment of hesitation loses you the match, and that you lose your mind.
So right.
Good reference.
Heather in the chat. Excellent point, Rob. Why would Cody talk something up that far in advance? Yeah, I always kind of think that way. We'll definitely see what happens, though. I think SummerSlam is going to be a lot of fun. And Heather again saying, and Heather, thanks so much for joining. Matt, this show has such good points of view. Yeah, we do what we can over here. I think Mueller, man. Mueller and Kelvin and Matt and everybody, you guys bring up so many good cases. It's really hard to argue with you guys. But let's go to this one, Matt. We're starting with you. Yeah, your guy, L.A. Knight, former U.S. champion, taking on Seth Rollins, who's really had a connection to everybody. I think there's a lot of value to Seth having that money in the bank in a lot of low-key ways right now to advance a lot of stories. It could be too many moving parts. We'll talk about that later. And we will also talk about that later in the match with, of course, Goldberg, possible cash, and we'll talk about that. But, Matt, what do you got on this one? Is this another one that felt, I don't want to say forced because they kept jumping each other. How do you feel about this one, Matt?
This one's, it doesn't feel like they threw it together. It's more like, why this? Why this? Because I got to admit, like, Seth is like on a roll right now. He's this looming threat over everything in WWE. I have the briefcase. I can use it anytime. I got, two jacked up sledgehammers ready to do my work for me. I got Paul Heyman coordinating everything for me. I literally can't lose. And even if I do, I still have the briefcase, which is the only reason why I think there's a shot at this being, you know, a night for LA Knight. I would love to see LA Knight get a big win over. Let's face it, I was just thinking about this earlier. Easily one of the best all-around wrestlers of the last quarter century of the last 25 years, and a guy
Yeah.
who is at the top right now and may have not a lot of time left in the company if he so chooses. It's been rumored for years now. Um, you know, he's been the workhorse for a very long time. He's been a company man for a very long time, and it served him well. But does he feel like doing it forever? Especially now that he's a parent and all of that. Not to go too deep into that, but with not only that, but I also see that as that should have been LA Knight's briefcase to begin with, because I think that
Ooh.
as much as people pop for the and some of his antics, and that delivery he has, that's sort of a throwback to when people got put on T-shirts and you could wear it to school. Uh, most of his career, he has played the cocky heel, and just the terror and aggravation that he could put out there with a briefcase, maybe next year, maybe, would be great. But I think just like, big name Randy Orton, big name Drew McIntyre, put two golden gods out there on national TV, and then this one, you've got your company ace, and you've got a super charismatic, TV friendly guy, because this is NBC. There's people who are a lot of people that aren't watching Raw. They're not watching. They're not watching SmackDown. They're going to be watching this, and yeah, just kind of get them interested in who these people are, and get interested in, hey, who are these other people that are beating down the charismatic TV friendly guy, so that Seth Rollins can win.
Wow. Very good assessment here. And Heather's been agreeing with you the whole way. A lot of 100% Matt. I've been an LA fan forever. Yeah, so Matt has been singing his praises before he was in WWE. I love this, Heather. Definitely underused in the business. Would love to see more success. And I think you hit on something there too, Matt. I'll say this. You made a great point that was his Money in the Bank briefcase. I think he would be a perfect guy. And I've said that about Owens for years and years and years. I think he would be a perfect Money in the Bank briefcase holder, but there can only be one. Gina in the chat. Gina, thanks for joining. Let us know who you have in this match. Let us know your theories. I'm sorry there's no Damian Priest on this one, but let us know what's going on. Mike, tell us. Now, I'm going to pick right now. I'm actually going to pick LA Knight, because notoriously those Money in the Bank winners, just historically, I'm a stats guy, they can take a lot of L's, and we know why. So I'll pick your guy, LA Knight. Yeah, Mike, who do you got on this one?
Well, I now feel a lot less confident in my pick because I'm going with you, Rob. I think this is LA Knight.
What does that mean?
You just, whatever. It means whatever you want it to
Yep.
mean. No, I think, Seth Rollins has the briefcase. He's totally fine taking a loss. He can lose every match. It doesn't change the fact that he's going to be world champ at the drop of a hat. And I think he will cash in successfully when he does cash in. But the main reason why I've got LA Knight in this is, for one, LA Knight needs a win. He's been taking a lot of losses. Same sort of thing with Drew. He needs a win a lot more than Seth needs this win. But I'm looking at the outside factors, the outside forces. So we've been doing this whole Penta and Sammy are kind of getting intertwined with Braun, as I'm calling him, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. So
Nice.
I kind of see this match going down a path where WWE's been loving their chaos lately. A lot of run-ins, a lot of craziness, a lot of wonky finishes, which I haven't really loved. It's been one of my critiques on WWE right now. But this does seem like the perfect opportunity for those kind of shenanigans, if you will, to go on. So I see Sammy and Penta coming to neutralize Braun because they're going to be getting involved. They're going to be cheating, and so they're going to kind of take them out. Brawl to the back, something like that. So you're left with a true one-on-one match with Seth Rollins and LA Knight. And given their position on the card and in the company right now, that still favors Seth Rollins. If it's a clean finish to this match, Seth Rollins should win. But who's looming in the background? Who is waiting to extract his revenge on Seth Rollins? And who is going to be Seth Rollins' opponent at SummerSlam? CM Punk. And CM Punk is going to come out. He's going to cost, because Paul Heyman's going to be right there, and it's going to be just those two. No, thank you. No Braun Breaker, no Bronson Reed. CM Punk is going to be able to interfere on behalf and get LA Knight a much needed victory. It preserves Seth Rollins because he's not taking a clean loss. It doesn't matter because he's still got the briefcase. LA Knight to me has everything to gain and nothing to lose with the victory here. And Rollins, I feel like, is the exact opposite. He's got nothing to gain from this. So I like to see that happen, and it pushes the story forward. We get to SummerSlam with CM Punk, and plus CM Punk, LA Knight, like there's some symmetry going on with the two initials and the name. It all feels right. It just feels right in my soul, and I'm going with it. I think we're going to get a lot of crazy, wild shenanigans, and LA Knight comes out on top.
Wow, man. You so right, because what you're doing and what we often fail to do here, and then I look back and it's that Monday morning quarterbacking, but it's like they did this to set up this for the big pay-per-view. Also, Braun never going away. Love that. Good stuff, Mike.
Thank you.
Real quick, let's go to the yeah, dude. I mean, you knocked it out of the park. I'm gonna call you Aaron Judge. Heather say I agree. Some things haven't been making sense. I'm not for it either, Mike. I think Gina said, what's Patrick got? Not WWE related. BCW Queen of the North 6 is going to be fire. Yeah, there's a lot of indie shows. SummerSlam's out here, guys. BCW, one of our sponsors. I think it's the Thursday night at the Mecca. Queen of the North. Check that out. Support the local indie talent. A lot of love for Matt and Mike in the chat. I love seeing. Real quick, Gina, I didn't want to forget you saying I have Seth Rollins, but with a DQ disqualification, Big Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, or Braun, as we now call them. Love that, Mike. All right. Good stuff, guys. Let's go to this one. I feel like you guys are going to have a lot to say on this. I'm going to make it quick because mine's not as exciting as some of your theories. So if you don't mind, I'll keep it moving here. Of course, we have the ring General Gunther defending his World Heavyweight Championship against the returning Goldberg. A lot of people think that Goldberg will win despite this being his last match. I'm in the, or I don't know if it's the majority minority. I think that Goldberg's going to do the old school thing. I believe, and again, this is one you've heard them talking about on Busted Open, where it's like, well, what is Goldberg's reason for getting the title shot other than he's Goldberg? But I think this is, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I don't like putting stuff out there if I don't know it's true. I believe. Disclaimer that this was one of Gunther's dream matches, or this was one of his guys. So I could be wrong on that. I felt like I've read that a while ago. This was before this all came together. So I'm glad he gets that if this is the case. But I think for that reason, and for just kind of that old school mentality of going out on your back kind of a thing, especially after that whole thing with Gunther and Pat McAfee, which I had so much to say about that. It wasn't my favorite. No disrespect to either of them. But I want Gunther to look strong. I think this is where Goldberg tries to hit his, super moves of doom and try to be a short match, but Gunther kind of changes the pace, kind of catches him off guard. I think Gunther retains and wins here, but I think because we've seen this with Gunther a few times, even though he's a bad guy, we get that handshake and show respect to Goldberg, and he leaves the ring to Goldberg kind of a thing. That's what I think. I think a lot of people see cash-ins. I think a lot of people see Goldberg winning here. I'm going to keep it just straight down the middle, or kind of old school. I think Gunther can't lose here. Matt, what do you got on this one?
Yeah, this is one with a lot of questions on it, because you're like, all right, did Gunther take the belt off of Jey Uso and get his dad really angry for just to lose it to Goldberg? If Goldberg wins, is he gonna retain and defend? If he does or he doesn't, who's the next opponent? Is a rematch with Gunther? Do we want that? I'll say this. Yes, he was, despite a lot of athleticism, he was never Ricky Steamboat. He's pushing 60, and even though he's in amazing shape, you're carrying extra mass, even if it's muscle mass at near 60. Gunther might be the perfect person to be in there with Goldberg. Because, like I said, he can change the pace and drag that match out, but he's not going to blow anybody up. Gunther kind of has that, I hate to say the bad analogy, the Fritz von Erich kind of pace and demeanor and body language and kind of his build these days. So
Hopefully he's a better person than Fritz.
Well, yes, I would hope so. Yeah, so he can really make this into the kind of match that nobody's expecting anytime anybody mentions versus Goldberg. And I do see Gunther retaining either by a DQ loss or by thereby giving Goldberg a win on the way out, or by just making it happen and beating Goldberg clean. One thing that did come up a lot in different pods and radio shows and message boards I've been on the past week. Do we see the return of Gage Goldberg? He recently mentioned his plan is right now his sole focus is on football and how far he can take it. He played a couple of games as a true freshman, University of Colorado, which is not East Idaho State Community College or anything. He's in a big program. Do they really want him out there? At the same time, I don't think they've said anything. There's got to be some kind of like NIL, like holding money kind of going his way. He's part of, when you look at Scott Steiner's kid and Mark Henry's kid, and Titus O'Neil's kid, all pretty much sign up saying, yeah, if this doesn't work out, we're coming right in. Yeah, we might be able to see that. Goldberg is perfect for Saturday night's main event. Like I said, you get viewers to this that you don't normally get on your week-to-week TV, and maybe somebody who hasn't watched in 25 years, but used to go to frat house nitro parties every Monday when they were in college, and or their kids are starting to watch us. Oh, yeah, I watch wrestling too, and they see Goldberg. That was the guy. That was my guy. It's not. When we first saw it, like, seemed very random, unwanted, and what are they doing? But you give it a minute, it makes all the sense in the world, and it also makes all the sense in the world that Gunther's leaving with the belt, and I actually see it with the clean win.
You see him get hit. Wow. There it is. Wow. And Gina in the chat saying kind of similar, Matt. I have Goldberg with spear after spear after spear. I mean, it could be one of those quick wins. So you're saying Goldberg, he hits that jackhammer, hits that spear, probably a couple extra, and he's gonna pin Gunther.
No, I got the other way.
Oh, going the other way. Okay,
Yes.
okay. I thought at the end you had changed.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
That's interesting what you said about Gage.
Only because Ludwig seems to kind of pull it out, with shenanigans. He seems like he's a little distracted. He might have other things going on.
Not sure what you're talking about. I don't follow.
No.
But that is a really great point, though. All joking aside about Gage, I didn't think about that, man. This could be part of a deal about him coming back. Hey, I'll do this, but my kid, yada yada. So I think that's a really good point. I did not think about that. Really, really good stuff. I'll get the comments going, but I want to get to Mike as well. Mike, I feel like you got something here, man. I feel like there's this theory, there's this thing we're missing. What do you got?
Not really. I think this is a pretty straightforward match. I think this is one last
Okay.
hurrah for Goldberg. I do not see him winning. The thing with Goldberg, though, is you're not like, no one saw him becoming Universal Champion, and he did. And, if this is truly his last match, of course, I think he's going to lose, but this is pro wrestling, and your last match is never really your last match. Just ask Ric Flair. But as far as this situation is concerned, first of all, this match is going to move slower than molasses in January. This is going to be a slog because Goldberg blew up in 3 minutes when he was in his prime. So we got to stretch this out. I mean, I'm hoping, praying there's going to be another match added to the card because 3 matches in a 2-hour show is woof. But I think that they're going to keep it moving. But this is really going to be a slow match because it's going to be a lot of Gunther with the advantage, and then he's toying with Goldberg. He doesn't take him seriously. He's got him down for the pin, but then he pulls up, kind of a la Sami Zayn when Sami Zayn was finally able to beat him and get the IC title from him. But I think ultimately, this is just Gunther's going to win. He's going to lock in that submission. He's not going to tap. He's going to, drift away into the night because I sure as hell don't see Gunther putting a power bomb on Goldberg at this point in his career. Maybe I'm wrong, but I really just I think people are making these wild predictions, wanting something to happen, just because it seems kind of like it can't just be this, right? I think, yeah, it can't just be this, and exactly to what Matt was saying, it's a nostalgia factor. It's on Saturday night's main event. It's a perfect type situation. Let's also not ignore the fact that, and someone please correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe a title has changed hands on Saturday night's main event yet. And I don't think it's going to start now. Maybe back in the day, there might have been some title changes. But as far as the reboot of this, I don't think, especially definitely not a world title. There's been a world title defense, I think, on every one, but there's been no changes. And it's not going to start now. It's a pretty straightforward. It's just an opportunity for Gunther to look good. He will get overly cocky, and Goldberg will catch him with the spear, and we'll go, "Oh my God, is this the moment?" But no, Gunther's going to kick out and he's going to win. And there's not going to be a cash in. I don't see a cash in happening with Seth Rollins anytime soon. I think he is so much more valuable with that briefcase and being that looming threat to everybody and in everybody's business. And why would you do it now? Also, again, in order for a cash in to make sense, this would have, I mean, you cash in immediately after a match when it's a war, when these guys have just taken absolutely everything out of each other that they possibly can, and there's nothing left. And I just don't see that being the situation here. It's not going to be a 20-minute brutal, tough match. It's going to be 10 minutes with a lot of laying around and a lot of Gunther playing to the crowd and mocking Goldberg and doing all that stuff. It's going to be about 90 seconds of action, and he's going to win, and we're going to move on, as hopefully Goldberg will be moving on from pro wrestling. I really hope this is his last match.
Yeah.
Nothing against the guy. He was great for what he was, but my God, man, hang it up.
Wow.
It's
Well, Mike keeping it real.
yeah, I gotta say, Mike had just brought two great points on his list today. Yeah, title changes are rare if they've even happened on Saturday Night's Main Event, and 3 matches over 2 hours, even if it's over there. I just never realized that, and everybody else is going duh in the comments. Yeah, Saturday Night's Main Event. It's a 2-hour commercial for their weekly programming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really where we're
We'll
at.
get another match.
That's
Yeah.
what Saturday night's main
That-
event
Probably
is.
a women's match.
yeah.
It's a showcase, and it's to
Um,
get eyes on you get people's eyes on the product. But ultimately, like, not a
Yeah.
lot of major changes happen on Saturday night's main
No.
event.
Yeah, you guys bring up great points. I just wanted to show Gina's comment real quick. I have Goldberg winning, but with a cash in with Seth Rollins perhaps after. I could make a case for that, Gina. I don't have that as my official pick, but I could make an argument for that just to make things make sense. But I think Mike really made the great point in saying like Seth is more valuable carrying that briefcase around. He's connecting a lot of things. To me, it might even be too much moving parts, especially with Paul Heyman and Braun. I just wanted to say Braun again. But I think I could make a case for that, and I could see how that would happen, because it's like Goldberg gets the yay in his final match, and then it gets taken away. So he is kind of like putting someone over, like I said earlier. So I could make a case for that. But I think it's going to be the old school way. And I think Seth, plus they just came out with that new briefcase available now on WWEshop.com. Shameless promo.
It's a
Gotta move that
It's
merch.
the business of it. I like those briefcases. And Heather saying, when Goldberg wins, can we get a shout out on the next show? If Goldberg wins, Heather, all three of us, whenever we're on next, we have to shout out Heather. I'm a man of my word. I already owe someone a beer because Trick won the TNA championship at Slammiversary. I owe somebody a beer, and I will make good on that promise because I'm a man of my word. So, guys, we are going to segue to NXT Great American Bash. We'll keep it moving. Mike, I know you got to get out of here, brother. Please, you got
one last final point that I forgot to bring up. Also,
take your time, man. You've earned it.
Gunther, damn right I have. Gunther does not have short title reigns. That's the other thing. Gunther just got this title back. Gunther does not have short title reigns. That's his whole character, is he has the belt and he keeps the belt, and it is borderline impossible to get it off of him. He's not going to drop it this quickly, especially to someone that's not in long-term plans for the company. So that's my piece.
Yeah. Dude, you make great arguments. I want to argue with you. I can't. This is good stuff. And before we let Mike out of here and get his shameless promo in, Heather saying thank you. We are men of our word here. I can vouch for these fine, handsome Joe. This is the most handsome podcast, by the way. Saying thanks, and Gina too. So we will shout out Gina as well. Man of my word. So very good stuff, Heather. Mike, before you get out of here, shameless promo, tell everyone about Sweet Chin Musings, all that great stuff you got going on over there, brother.
Sweet Chin Musings, me and my buddy Luke, we just recorded a episode right before I came on here, actually. It'll be up tomorrow morning. We're doing our all-in predictions. We did some Saturday Night's Main Event predictions. We also did our Mount Rushmore of cruiserweight wrestlers. So that's on the new episode. Rob, your boy Rey Mysterio may or may not be on that list. We'll find out.
Come on, bro. I'm literally looking for a Ray thing to hold up
because
he's number one.
You don't. It's a shame that you don't have one within arm's reach. That's really.
Oh, I have many things. I just have to move.
Oh, okay.
Just have to choose.
Just which Rey Mysterio thing? There you go. There you go. There he is.
This is sad that I have a giant action figure.
Hey,
come on.
It's life size. That's a life-size action figure. That's really Rey Mysterio size.
Wow. All right.
But yeah, no, we had a lot of fun with this one. It's a good episode. When I am not talking about wrestling, I am writing about wrestling, either for the Pop Break or for BCP Plus. And when I'm not doing that, I am crying over the Michigan Panthers putting up a horrible performance for the UFL. But they're going to do back. They're going to be better than ever. And I'll be writing another series for the NFL this upcoming year, so looking forward to that. And then other than that, just check out the podcast, check me out on BCP Plus and all that good stuff. And as always, thank you for the opportunity. It's awesome working with you, man. It's been a blessing, and I'm really, really excited about it.
I love that, man. And that hat looks great, by the way. I do like that hat. Go Michigan Panthers, man. You did a great job. And there's lots more story to be told there next season. And that mustache, Mike, that mustache, I think we can all agree in the chat. That mustache is glorious. Keep it forever.
Thank you. I don't know if I'm keeping it forever, but I had to, I think this is Adam Page's time to take the belt over and be back on top. So I was like, you know what? I got to support my boy.
If Goldberg wins, Mike Mueller will shave the mustache. No, I kid.
That's no. We're not putting. We don't bet facial hair.
No, we're not doing.
We don't bet facial hair with this. Are you kidding? It's like my 5th best feature, Rob. I'm not going to put that on the line. That's ridiculous.
Oh, stop. All right, Mike, get out of here, man. Good talking to you. We'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you, bro.
Be safe. All right, bro. As I rudely shoot Mike out of here, Matt, let's keep it going. We're going to rapid fire this.
You got it.
Let's keep it going. We've got a lot to cover, so we're going to kind of rapid fire around this thing. We got, of course, Sol Ruka taking on Izzy Dame at the Great American Bash. Man, Sol Ruka, arguably one of the best finishers in the business, but Izzy Dame has had some recent momentum on NXT. Is this for the title?
I believe it's for the
I would
title.
imagine so.
I'm
gonna pick Izzy Dame to win the title. I can't believe I'm saying that.
That's not great. This is probably the hardest pick out of the entire night for me because Izzy Dame has momentum, and Sol Ruka has been champ not for all that long, but she's been in the picture for a while, and so has her best buddy Zarya. And there's sort of a thing back there. It's like eventually, like we're gonna have to run this where it's gonna be you versus me. But it seems like Zarya's not really pushing it, but Sol Ruka's not really offering it up that much either. So it's something that's kind of hanging in there. Like when is it my turn? Like you had Trick and Mello, similar situation. Not that about what 2 years ago, and Izzy Dame's stock is rising. She has some good ones. I gotta admit, I kind of missed how Tatum Paxley came into this. She'll be accompanying Izzy Dame to the ring.
You hit on something there.
Yeah, because
I think will be a factor.
That can be a factor either way. She can either cost Izzy the match or win it for her. So really, the two ladies on the outside are as big a factor as anything else in this match.
Yes, so official pick Izzy Dame?
I'm picking, as much as I think they got a great safe bet with Sol Ruka. She's popular. She's doing well. Like I said, and ever since she adjusted that finisher to be off the rope instead of in the corner, it just some of the stuff she's pulled off is just sick. But I think that will give Sol Ruka and Zarya maybe a chance to run a program. For that first.
Yes.
If I'm Izzy Dame, I'm being the heel. What's the first thing I'm doing when I get the belt? Okay, you can get the return match, or Zarya can. You guys fight it out to find out who's the number one contender, and you break them up. And then you don't have to worry about one being on the outside for the other one.
Yeah.
So I'm going with Izzy.
That's really good. I think that's really good. I think for that factor, because we always see Zarya, because I've been saying Zarya's going to turn. I think they've been teasing it, because every time Sol holds up the belt, Zarya's always looking at the belt, like not at her partner or at anything else. She's always looking at the belt. I think Zarya, I've said it many times on the show, the way they brought her in, it almost looked like she was this monster heel, just in terms of athletic ability and in-ring on the caliber of a Vicaire or a Julia. And it seems like she was kind of, I don't want to say held back, but like watered down. Her entrance, was super intimidating. She kind of popped up in the crowd. Now it's very different. And I know it's silly, that levity with Sol Ruka, which I like, but I've just been kind of waiting for her to turn.
And she was the powerhouse until they got Jordan Grace.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you know what? I think you're right. And I think for that reason, she needs to be unleashed. This was a fun little levity thing. She needs to be unleashed. It garners sympathy for Sol Ruka. For that reason, I'm going to go Izzy Dame, who's been picking up a lot of recent momentum. Really good stuff, Matt. We're going to see this one again. Ricky Saints versus All Ego Ethan Page for the North American Championship. These two, man, been having a great feud for some time now. Does the North American Championship change hands here? I'm going to say no. What do you got, Matt?
I'm actually going opposite on this. Now, this is a Falls Count Anywhere match, which you throw in stipulations there. Even if it's a clean win, it's not really clean when the heel does something they can't do in a regular match and win. But I think that Ricky has enough of a following. I think he's been putting on enough of a show that they're gonna go back and forth with this a little bit until they decide Ricky's gonna go for another belt or find another night to work. So I think it's gonna be Ricky's turn for a while.
I can't argue with that. I think I almost picked Ricky too for that reason, but it's like one of those things. I get stuck in this pattern. I hate doing this on the show where it's like, oh, he just got it or he had it too long. But they've been hot potato in this one, and I think it makes all the sense to go to Ricky. I won't change my answer. I'll stick with Paige. But you're right. I think you're right on this one, Matt. That's a great assessment. And then we have the young OG. Javon Evans taking on LFG winner Jasper Troy. Now, Jasper was one of my favorites on LFG. I'm so glad he's one. I don't know if you've seen any of LFG or gotten to see any episodes, Matt. I'm liking that Holyfield kid a lot. I think he's got it. In that first season, I think they said it was like his second ever match. He looked like a beast, and now they're highlighting him more in the second season. But that Holyfield kid looks great. I digress. Jasper's great. You could tell he's still got some learning to do, but man, they jetpacked him to the title picture. Now he's fighting Javon. Who wins this match, though?
Now, here's the thing. They have recently, Javon is now in that kind of that B+ tier on NXT.
You said
it. A year ago, he was like, okay, this kid that does this like floating backwards RKO jump. And now it's like, okay, he's kind of, they're putting him in a position where he is, if not going for the title, he is getting in the face of somebody who is going for the title. And it's like, okay, maybe I got to beat you or you got to beat me to get that chance. Meanwhile, Jasper Troy just had that big match with Obafemi, two big monsters where it came off pretty good. Meanwhile, this one is, the big guy and the little guy. Styles make fights. At least once, Javon Evans is going to go for that cutter, and he's just going to get grabbed and cradled in midair instead of dropping to the cutter and probably thrown out of the ring. It's tough because Jasper Troy, he shows up and then he loses twice. You have him lose twice, but at the same time, he just came in. He's up against your number one guy and then another top tier guy. I'm just looking at my notes here. I don't know why I don't have anything for it, but I just put Javon Evans, maybe because he's one of my son's favorite wrestlers. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
but that'd be it. See, I would love it if my little guy could jump around yelling, "Your boy is bouncy! Your boy is bouncy!"
Yes, I love that, man. I'm gonna go Javon. I'm gonna go with Javon Evans to win this, just because he is like kind of that. I could see him being a future NXT champion, a North American champion for sure, but possibly a future NXT champion, just the way he's been in the main event picture for some time. Just because Jasper's new, maybe Javon gets him by a count out, a roll up, something where he's one step ahead, a little bit more of the experience. And then Jasper unleashes on him after the match or something like that. But I think that's a really great point you bring there, Matt. Let's talk about this one. We had a little fun with Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe, the former Mariah May, or formerly known as Mariah May, taking on JC Jane and Fallon Henley in a tag team match before JC Jane goes on to Evolution. Pretty much, Matt, these are all great competitors here. You going to go baby faces or heels on this one, Matt? What do you got?
Whew. And here's the thing. Everything points toward this going for Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe. I believe this is Blake Monroe's first PLE with the company. And I'm sorry, I said Blake, right?
You did say Blake Monroe, yes.
Okay. Yeah, this is her first PLE with the company. Jordan Grace is currently the number one contender facing JC Jane at Evolution. The whole thing with what are they called now? Was it Lethal Attraction?
Fatal Attraction, Fatal Influence.
Fatal Attraction, Fatal Influence.
Fatal Influence.
I'm mixing up their last group.
Yeah, I've done it.
Toxic Attraction,
Toxic
Attraction, and Fatal Influence, and yes, but even before JC got the title, when they were both challenging and failing. There's sort of this mean girl kind of like sniping back and forth, and you can't even call it dissension because it's just kind of that's their baseline of how the group interacts. With Jasmine Nix pretty much just off on the side, kind of listening, just supporting whoever's got the upper hand at the time. So part of me was thinking like, oh, everything's pointing towards Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe. So put it to Fatal Influence, but I'm going to go with Jordan and Blake.
Yeah, and for those reasons you laid out, Matt, I'm going to agree. It's Blake's. I believe this is Blake's first match. I think she had a match on a house show. I believe this is her first TV match with, of course, NXT. For that reason, and also because JC Jane is the champion, this is a rare case where you would see her lose as a champion because the title is not on the line. So I think that's a great point, Matt. Let's take it to the NXT championship. Of course, Yoshiki Inamura taking on the ruler Oba Femi, who's been such a great dominant champion. I kind of like this. I don't want to say left field. I don't want to take anything away from Inamura, but I like this booking, and he's really, really good. They're kind of letting him showcase his skills. He's had that interesting storyline where Josh Briggs, where he left for Japan, kind of came back. So I like him. I think this is just a way to showcase him here, and I want to learn more about this guy. This is someone I'm interested in. He's very powerful and very good and very dominant in ring. I didn't really know him before NXT. This is kind of different for WWE. I like the way they're using him, and I want to go on a ride with him. So I don't see him getting the title here, but I see maybe even a show of respect from Oba Femi. I think these two will go to war. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. What do you got on this?
It seems like there's something in the storyline where he was going to have to go back to Japan, and go back to Pro Wrestling Noah. That's part of their partnership. Is they sent Josh Briggs over there, and one thing, call it strong style, call it whatever, the Smash Mouth kind of style, just like the human demolition derby. As I said earlier, styles make fights. Oba's a powerhouse, but certainly doesn't shy away from just running right into people. Inamura, he's down for it too. I think we're going to really like this. If I can compare it to anything, this could be something very similar to the classics between Mike Awesome and Masato Tanaka.
Interesting. Okay,
those matches, those ECW legendary matches. This could be, this could be something like that. And again, just having Josh Briggs at ringside, cheering on his boy, his newfound brother in arms that he met over in Japan and came over here with. I like the story, and Oba's definitely retaining, but I think this is going to be a really good match, really showcase Inamura, and maybe get some more eyes on Pro Wrestling Noah, which would be nice.
Oh, I love that. Beautifully said, man. Forgive me, the power's flickering over here. I don't know if you got lightning down by you. It's like going crazy over here. So we'll see if we make it through. If I abruptly disappear, either I got fried or the power went out. So you be the judge. You'll find out. Then we have the Great American Bash, the TNA title contract signing. I've talked to 2 out of 3 of these guys, and I'll tell you this, Matt. These guys want it. Joe, anytime I asked a question about Santana, and you can check it out over on our YouTube, our interview with Joe Henry. But anytime I brought up Santana, Joe, very nicely, but he shut it down. I'm like, what do you think of Santana's momentum? He's like, that's great, but I'm a metrics guy. I'm a stats guy. TNA's best interest is me being the champion. And this was before this match was even announced, maybe days before this match was announced. So Joe's hungry. Joe wants it. Do you see some sort of table spot here? Do you see now this isn't the actual match. You can make a prediction for the match if you want, but what do you see coming out of this contract signing here? Matt, what do you got on this
one? This is like, we were talking about, Pro Wrestling Noah's on the show. TNA's champion is an NXT wrestler, but arguably the most popular guy on either show is, the TNA former champ. Meanwhile, TNA's current president, back during Mike Santana's reign, was very big on him, putting out a lot on the socials, praising him, saying he's great. Praised him as the first Puerto Rican champion in TNA history, and so that's the office is high on him. Everybody's high on Joe Hendry. Trick Williams has been just riding this charisma wave, really since he was Carmelo's number 2. So, as far as just the signing, man, there's gonna be something. I don't know who goes through the table. I don't know how. I could certainly see Hendry and Santana just getting sick of Trick's mouth and throwing him down, and then going at it with a hockey fight. And personally, that would probably be the most entertaining thing there for that segment.
Yeah, I see in the chat, Rob believes. Thank you for that, Heather. I love Joe. He's been so kind during our interviews, guys. Again, if you haven't, I know it's shameless promo. You know how we do it here. Go to YouTube, BCP Plus interview with Mike Santana. I got to sit with him, and then Joe Hendry. Joe was having a good time at the beginning of the show. We played Joe's love for the Annie Smark, Matt, who he by association,
the pristine really casual.
Oh, it was great. So go watch those interviews. But Joe is so focused on that. And when we talk to Santana, he talks about overcoming addiction, essentially, his daughter wanting him to stop and all the things he's overcome and become such an inspiration. And then the point that Matt brings out, I believe in Joe Hendry. I do. And I like Joe, but also I might pick Santana for this match. We'll do our Slammiversary picks. We most definitely will. We may or may not, no guarantees, be talking to TNA President Carlos Silva. I'm in chats about that. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but hopefully we can. I would love to talk to him about that. There's so many things to talk about. I think this signing ends essentially with Santana and Joe, because they were kind of giving each other looks, like, even though they had to tag together. I think it's going to go, like, Trick's going to kind of get out scot-free, and it's going to kind of be the two of them. Maybe not coming to blows, but like receiving the raw, like the what end of the stick, where it ends badly for them, and they're more at each other's throats leading up to this Slammiversary match. So I think that's what's going to happen here. Guys, thank you so much for staying up. Matt, thank you for doing this, man. Guys, catch Matt and myself, our first ever radio show on 88.9 FM WMCX out of Monmouth University. I'll be sitting down with Matt. We're going to be playing some music from our favorite local bands. We have the Downbeat Beatdown Hour on WMCX. I'm so excited for our debut live episode. If you're not in the Jersey area, you don't get 88.9 FM, go to WMCX.com at Monmouth University. You can stream there. You can hear us on the radio, hear some good tunes. I'm excited for that. You can also catch Matt over on the popbreak.com. Also here on BCP Plus. Matt, thanks so much for joining, man. I'm going to rudely throw up our sponsors. We're going to get out of here, man. And I will
don't throw up. Sunday. At least get a bucket.
Yeah. Why? A bucket? Why? Because the rain?
Yeah. No, because you said you were going to throw up.
Oh, no.
You said you're going to throw up our sponsors. Aha.
But there it is. All right. Thank you, guys. Good night. We'll catch you on the radio. Peace. BCP is brought to you by our favorite store, Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore, located in the Englishtown Flea Market in New Jersey from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays, and online at FunkensteinWrestlingSuperstore.com. Get your favorite wrestling merch, retro video games, Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, G.I. Joe, so much more. It's our favorite store. Thank you, Heather and Dan, for sponsoring the BCP. Also got to welcome back our sponsors, the No Gimmicks Podcast, the podcast that keeps it 100% real 100% of the time. Check out our guy Kelvin only
on the No Gimmicks podcast. Wrestling All Day, All Night is the best wrestling discussion group on Facebook. We provide more of a community feel here and have wrestling fans introduce other fans to something they may not have seen before, such as old school wrestling, indie wrestling, Japanese wrestling, and so much more. We also strive to be a source of information regarding upcoming wrestler meet and greets and signings. And remember, we're open 24/7, all day, all night. Be sure to follow on socials and join the group on Facebook at Wrestling All Day, All Night. Welcome back, our sponsor, Sweet Chin Musings. Sweet Chin Musings is the creation of the reigning, rarely defending, highly disputed champion of wrestling podcast, Mr. Perfect, Mike Mueller, and his tag team partner in crime, Luke Kudialis. SCM focuses on the in-ring product of WWE and AEW, no dirt sheet rumors here, as well as backstage news, predictions, and analysis of characters, storylines, and major pay-per-views. Old school fans, don't worry, we have you covered as well, with a look back on classic matches, top 10 lists, and interactive tournaments that let the fans decide who is truly the best of all time. You can find them at Facebook at Sweet Chin Musings, and check out the podcast on all major podcast platforms. Please welcome back our sponsors on the BCP Plus and the podcast, GPW Productions. GPW provides your promotion or event with top-tier video, audio production, live streaming, and more. I can personally vouch for them in saying they are hands down the best production company I've ever worked with, as they have and continue to work with the likes of AEW, GCW, StarCast, MLW, not to mention the majority of the local independent promotions here in the tri-state area. They can even help you film a vignette or promo for your persona or gimmick. And guess what? GPW doesn't just work in wrestling. No, they cover MMA, boxing, basketball, or any other sporting event as well. On a personal note, I'd like to thank Mike Sesko, Frank Leone, O'Neil Andros, and the team for giving me multiple opportunities to work with them and some of the best talent in the world. Thank you, GPW, and guys, book GPW for your promotion or event today at contact@gpwproductions.com. Please welcome back one of our favorite sponsors, Mania Club. Established in 2015, Mania Club is a WWE recognized community for fans with an eclectic love for both the world of professional wrestling and raising money for Connor's Cure. During WrestleMania weekend, we host the official tailgate of WrestleMania while also celebrating the life of Connor McCollum. They are the single largest donor within the V Foundation for Connor's Cure, with over $150,000 raised. Please donate and join the Facebook group over at Mania Club on Facebook. Donate at jimmyv.org/Mania Club. Guys, please welcome in our new pod sponsor for the months of May and June, J. Adam Photography. Jay provides quality, artistic, innovative photography with a quick turnaround time. Be sure to check out his latest ISPW wrestling pics and much more stellar content. Right now, wrestlers can do a special portrait shoot with Jay in Sparta, New Jersey for just $50. Contact Jay at Jay Vogel on Facebook and be sure to follow him across socials. Thank you, Jay, for sponsoring the BCP. Guys, let's welcome in our new pod sponsor, Cooper Groove Grips. When you play Cooper Groove drumsticks, you get increased sensory feedback from your hands, so your grip will naturally loosen, but you have complete control. With that taking place, you don't have fatigue and soreness, which can lead to long-term issues. Guys, as a drummer, Cooper Groove is my drumstick of choice. Sweaty hands aren't a problem. Grip is good. Don't forget to check out their amazing Cooper Groove bats coming out soon. Guys, follow at Cooper Groove Grips on Facebook. Guys, please welcome in our new podcast sponsors, ISPW Weekly, where we dive deep into the world of ISPW, the crossroads of professional wrestling. Join Jumpin' Jay and Total with Tom every week as they interview the stars of the ring, uncover their stories, rivalries, and the electrifying action that defines ISPW. Be sure to check out ISPW Weekly on the ISPW Facebook page every week. Please welcome in our new pod and daily site sponsor, Twisted Shamrock Studios and Spa, located in Delaware County, Pennsylvania. Twisted Shamrock is a retro spa experience for the average Joe and Jane. Meet the next evolution of recovery and relaxation. Right now, you can try their introductory offer, where you can try a core service to include massage, skincare, facial, stretch therapy, body slimming, toning, personal training, and spray tanning for 30 minutes for just $30. This is perfect for our wrestling pals as well. Book today. Call 484-574-8868 or visit www.twistedshamrockstudiospa.com. Guys, please welcome back our returning podcast sponsor, USDN. USDN Podcast is run by USDN Chairman and the Council of Nerds. We bring you all the latest news and rumors from the world of nerds and consolidate it right here at the U.S. Department of Nerds. USDN is for the people, by the people and of the people. Follow them at facebook.com/US Department of Nerds. Guys, please welcome in our new pod sponsor for 2025, the Ropes and Riffs podcast, featuring Maestro John Kiernan speaking with the stars of professional wrestling about their in-ring, tunage, gear, and so much more. Check out John's interviews with the likes of Lince Dorado, Mercedes Martinez, and so much more. Find the Ropes and Riffs podcast on all major podcast platforms. Guys, please welcome in our new podcast sponsor, EM Collectibles, featuring live signings, collectibles, toys, and more. Be sure to follow them on Facebook and stay tuned for their upcoming events. Upcoming events right now, March 8th, Hernando Toy and Comic Show, the Hernando County Fairgrounds live signing with Super Crazy. March 22nd, Neg Dog Championship Wrestling presents Music and Mayhem in Hudson, Florida with special guest Super Crazy. March 29th and 30th, 2025 Syracuse Collectors Con in Syracuse, New York with Bill Alfonso, Gary Wolf, and the quintessential stud muffin Joel Gertner, March 30th only. April 5th, New England Fan Fest, and we'll have Buff Bagwell. April 13th, 2025, our premiere show, Bring Back the Memories Toy Show, and May 10th, our renowned 90s Wrestling Con in Morristown, New Jersey, guests to be named soon. Warriors of Wrestling returns to Staten Island for Ultimate Survival, featuring former WWE superstars The Headbangers and former TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions, current TNA stars Spitfire, with a Royal Rumble style main event, 6 p.m. doors, 7 p.m. bell time. Get your tickets now at warriorsofwrestling.com. BCW presents Queen of the North 6, Thursday, July 31st at the Mecca 106 Bergen Ave in Ridgefield Park, New Jersey, streaming on Title Match Network. Get your tickets now. Guys, please welcome back our returning sponsor from the left side. Get hit from the left side with all the wrestling and sports news you can handle. Thank you from the left side for sponsoring the BCP.